Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Eric here. It's about 2:12 Eastern on Wednesday, May 3rd. We've got about an hour, a little bit less before we hear from Jerome Powell at the Fed. So maybe when you get this email, it'll be about 30 minutes away. I just wanted to comment briefly on the markets in general, and then also give you an update on silver and my big play there that I think there's a huge opportunity in. And also just some other services that you guys might not be aware of that are on the free e-letter, because we've been very busy the last few days making a lot of money, taking a lot of profits on certain plays. And I'll walk through a couple of those just to give you an idea of what you may be interested in not missing out on going forward, especially as we see the mining stocks come back to life on the lower end of the market capitalization area. So I'm going to just highlight here right now, we've got silver. This is the SLV. It mimics the silver price well. So I'm just going to work with this and basically get this off of here. Okay. And we've got a flag formation. This is a bullish flag. So this channel will continue until it breaks up or down, probably 3/4 of the time. I mean, it's the exact number is a mystery, but I would say 70% plus definitely of these flag formations break in the way of the preceding trend, which is up. So the odds are highly in favor of silver continuing to go. And so, we're also down. The MACD crossed, weeks ago, and now we could see this turn up very easily. It could break down, we'll see, but I think it's going higher. And just as an aside, look at, the monthly chart gives a bit of a better picture and also is very ripe for a move up. But the point and figure chart is interesting. Let's just take a peek at this point and figure chart with let's get their target, which is 3069. So we're at about 23.5 right now. Call it 40% projected move on SLV. Point and figure is a good tool. It's not 100% perfect, but it is a really interesting and good tool, part of the toolbox that I use technically when analyzing this stuff. We came out with, back if you recall, there was a big flush down here, which I had called the bottom in the mining sector a little bit early, but not by much. It actually would be a benefit to stick, if anybody stuck it out, and we had multiple reminders in the premium and elite service to do just that. We went long a lot of options, call options on a lot of different names, like everything from Kinross to Silvercorp to Mux to GDXJ itself, Nugget, and then different silver plays also. But those have gone up. We're up probably. In general, it's over 100% on those option calls. And we even had a move of 250% in a week on the triple juiced up NUGT ETF to the gold miners. And I bring up gold just because, we've got a situation that's a common scenario between silver and gold. They call, silver the cousin of gold, the wild cousin of gold. And my contention is that silver and silver equity miners have been the most disappointing area in the metals complex for performance up until this point, the last 2.5 years. That will end up, the beam will swing, and we will end up seeing, and I'm just going to pull up what I expect on the gold here, because as gold breaks new highs, which, we actually last month, this is a monthly chart going back 10 years, closed at the highest level on gold since early 2020. And it looks like a triple top, so to speak here. But I think we're going to break out and break through. Nobody's ever ready for this type of stuff when it happens, because once gold breaks through $2,100, there's been a lot of congestion around here, which you would expect. But once it breaks through 2,100, you're looking at 26, 2,700 fast, within weeks to months. That's going to happen quickly. It was just like when I predicted Bitcoin, when it was at 8,000, 10,000, 14,000, 15,000. And I said, okay, if you're not on board yet, go open an account at least somewhere so you have dry powder ready, that if it breaks those 2017 highs at 20,000, as a trader, it's game on, and you're going to get a really quick, within 3 weeks, you're going to see 27,000. And that's exactly what happened. Gold is not as powerful on the volatility side as Bitcoin, which I'm glad it's not. But 26, 2,700, I would say by the end of the year, if we get a breakout here within the next 2 to 3 months, is a given. And I would say somewhere in the 2,700 to 3,200 level within 12 months on gold is very reasonable. And so silver tends to catch up at the second half, the latter half of a bull cycle. It starts to outperform, the pendulum swings, and silver is an area that I would strongly suggest we focus on, because it's a perfect storm in the sense, look at Golden Tag. This is a perfect example of an opportunity. This thing is trading maybe right now, let's see on an update, 17.5, 18 cents. And look at this, I was contending, and we started accumulating this 21 cents. I think it was 22 was the first print when it reopened up a couple of weeks ago. That was my bid. 50,000 shares. I had it sitting in Canada, was hit right away. And my thought was, because Golden Tag did not participate in any of the lift in the sector here, that we would see that occur. Now, it will occur. And that's where you have to stick with these ideas, I think, because Golden Tag, this thing is poised. There's a lot of congestion around this area, 21 cents. So you're going to see it, have some trouble getting back above it or below it. And below it wasn't really a problem because of the fact that people were locked up for 4.5 months, and some people need money. And, the first ones out the door were the sellers. And buyers like myself, we end up seeing the selling come in. We take a step back to get it cheaper. And that's exactly what happened. And I've recommended this stock in the mid-teens here in the free e-letter. And I will contend that this stock is going to play a lot of catch up. And if you look here back in 2020, look at how explosive this thing can be. You're looking at 4 cents to, in 3 months, less than 3 months, you saw it go from 4 cents to 40. That's 4 months. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cents to 40 in less than 4 months. That's a 10 bagger. And I believe that could happen again, probably on the 5 bagger side of things. It's going to move when it moves and it breaks, which is also, by the way, a very long-term bull flag, a steep one. And so that usually means that we're going to be going like that. Once it is broken above it, actually pretty close to it right now. So this is a very key area, and it's an area that is a window of opportunity, in my opinion, to be loading up on a silver name that, these guys have got 210 million ounces. Let's just look. 210 million ounces of gold equivalent at the San Diego project, which was their flagship up until now. And then now they're acquiring First Majestic's first silver mine, La Parilla. And these are both in Durango, Mexico, which, I think is a favorable area, definitely, in the world in terms of mining, based on, I have avoided a lot of South America with Peru and Chile. Argentina, I think is okay, but they have a high inflation rate, that has to be tackled. Mexico is actually, ironically, very stable. And so anyway, this is a good area to be building up assets. And you see with La Paria, this thing has produced 34 million ounces of silver equivalent and about 3.1 million ounces a year. So you're talking about close to 100 million US with any prices of silver here or higher for a company that is only trading right now at about a 62, 65 US million dollar market cap. Post the transaction coming up where they wrap this up with First Majestic, you've got two fantastic assets that are not even going to be drained in terms of the curve of going into production and underperformance. They're going to be exploring and expanding the resources, and that's going to be expanded at La Paria to extend the mine life before they even restart the mine. And then you have San Diego, which 210 million ounce resource of silver equivalent is over $5 billion of silver equivalent ounces that are in the ground for buying it for 65 million. This is the type of thing that I'm just telling you is going to pay off for us, and could pay off in a big way. And I just don't see a tremendous amount of risk from these prices. This channel break, I think it's very encouraging. We would want to see 1 or 2 monthly closes, so we have to wait maybe a little bit just to see. But I think this stock, because of, let's look at really quickly, SIL, the silver miners. Look at the move that while Golden Tag was out of commission, look at this move higher. So you had it closed up when SIL was around 2650, had a big surge. It's still up over 17%. That's with not the leveraged junior exploration companies. That's with the producers. And so you should have a bigger move up on a repricing basis, I think, on Golden Tag. They diluted the company, but they bought an asset for so cheap. So call it a 20% lift from where Golden Tag closed, which was 22.5 cents. I believe that Golden Tag has the ability to trade like a magnet. This thing is going to be going back to this area right here. Call it boom boom. Call it right in this area. Back to the low 30s, and I mean that's a 70% move from here, and that's just going to get started. So imagine the ability under 20 cents where you can load up extra large. This is the way that I'm playing this, and encouraging premium and elite members as well, where you could sell half near a double before there was any real resistance in the recovery. And by the way, the volume is completely dried up. Look at this. The volume is completely dried up. This is a weekly chart. It came out of the gates big time, flooded the stock, caused a capitulation, dried up volume. There's not a lot of stock under 20 cents. I suggest GIL subscribers and readers scoop this up under 20, 21, 22 cents Canadian to build a position. And then, you get into the 30s and you can loosen up some of your position at close to a double. It doesn't have to be a double on the dot, but 18 to 36, is very reasonable. And then you just let the rest ride for free, ladies and gentlemen. That's a way to manage money that I think is underutilized. I tend to do this with triples, sell a third at a triple with junior miners. But I'm just saying, if you wanted to be more conservative, this is the play. And by the way, just so you know, the premium service, which I rarely even plug, and the elite service, which I cap at 25 accredited individuals and institutions and share a lot of the private placement opportunities there. And that's so you're getting deal flow with warrants and things like that. And you still get everything first, even before free members or premium members. That's notable. But you also get a bunch of ideas. I mentioned the shorts that I went short the banks last week, but in the premium service, I got very detailed. And so we ended up, shorting this thing close to like 10.5, $11, and it went to 5.5 in a week. and I bought I believe it was December expiry puts at $10, and we made 4 times our investment. And I closed that trade near the bottom, and we made 4 times our money. So that gives me dry powder to go buy some of these cheap junior mining stocks. It's a beautiful thing. I also shorted the regional banking ETF and bought those via put options and leveraged that gain. So, you saw the actual price of this thing, 43 down to 38, is not that big of a downdraft. I mean, 12, 13, 14%, but the call or the puts, I had a 55% net return on closing out that trade, which I wanted to do before we get the FOMC coming public with whatever their decision is. You could just see a lot of volatility in these things in the short term. But there are a number of other opportunities. If you want specific mining companies that we're building positions in that I'm not talking about in the free area, some of my best ideas. And by the way, the gold investment letter, I was just mentioning this to premium people, reminding them that over any 2 to 3 year period since I started this newsletter in 2011, we tend to participate early on from one of the best, biggest, performers in Canada, in Canada and the US. Most of these are mining companies that hit big, are Canadian based, but I'm talking 20, 30, 50 times our money on some of these plays that I've been early on, going all the way back to Zenyatta Ventures. Some of you that have been with me since 2012, when that stock went from 18 cents to $5 in 11 months. And onward and upward, Encore Energy, we had a big hit with that. I covered that in the free newsletter, and a lot of people were mad at me because it got cut in half, and I was about 2 years early on it, but we stuck with it. I never wavered. And that stock ended up making us, even if you didn't get into the financing at 5 cents and you were in the marketplace buying that up, you at a minimum should have made at least 20 times your money. And on part of your position, depending on if you still held that out when it went well over, $1 adjusted, way above that. So basically, Abra Plata, there's a lot of these names, guys, that we've knocked it out of the park. And a lot of these are privy to just the premium. If you want to get in there, I do my best to make it very worthwhile. Anybody who comes on, and if we have stumbling blocks and the market isn't on our side, I know how to survive those, navigate those markets, and then come out way ahead on the other side. And I think right now is an ideal time versus getting excited, really excited about when this stuff is in a bull cycle and it's really popping, and then you want to join, that's fine. But I'm just telling you, the real seasoned investors, the ones that take this seriously, that are in this for money, not fun, like me, fun too. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, I don't know where I'd be without the capital markets and the stock market. I would have never made it ahead of the game, I don't think. Perhaps, I don't know what else I would have done. So I'm very grateful for the markets. I'm a student of the markets, and I'm here to win. That's it. So that is available to you guys. I'll put a link out there. And then, I'm not going to get into it too much, but I just wanted to highlight the Phenom Crypto Letter. I decided to commit to this long term as another service because, for those of you that have been around, I've been recommending Bitcoin. The first time that I did so was under $500 of Bitcoin in 2016. Very early on it. Crypto has made me very wealthy. I'm just saying that because, it's probably what you want to observe from a newsletter writer or your broker or, an analyst that you're taking information from, somebody who goes from zero to hero in front of you instead of the other direction, or, it just never quite evolves to go to new levels themselves. How are they going to help you get there? And with crypto and being outside of the box, I've been very lucky. I've put in well over 10,000 hours of study. I had the biggest winners I've ever had in any sector, including technology, venture capital, mining stocks. And again, I've had my share of big pops, but never in my life did I have what we took off the plate and shared with various subscribers via, some of them were shared via a special report that I put out in November of 2020, but a lot of those people, I wanted to make a very affordable service. You can get on the free letter there for updates if you like and see what it's all about, but the real juice is in the premium, and it's the same price as GIL premium. And I mean, look, this type of stuff, I'm pricing this very modestly compared to what we've had the opportunities. At least I give you the opportunity and opportunities multiple times to make that up times 100. So let's wrap it up there, because I guess I'm playing. Okay, that's Jerome Powell coming on there. All right. So we're going to get the Fed. I'm going to get this out. Regardless of what happens today, I'm basically very bullish on our space. And in the near term, that's the whole point. And I talk about this more so when there's more content and more communication for those of you that want to join the premium. I brought it up recently, and if you happen to have done that and followed recommendations on the banking puts right away, and even those of you, I've put this out, back in early 23, where I came out and called the bottom on the mining sector a little bit early. I was here, and then you had basically a little bit of an opportunity actually to accumulate more during that time at a little bit of a cheaper price. Give it the Mashinsky 20% cushion or something, and we've cleaned up there. So a lot of the call option plays have been big hits, and I'm going to stop this before my battery dies, and I'll get this out right now. But I really like the Golden Tag as a silver play. You can recall that it's one I'm sharing with. It's a specific name I'm sharing with the free e-letter. And for those of you that want to join premium, you're going to get a handful more of some just layup money laying on the ground. All we got to do is pick it up type of opportunities and wait. That's the way that I look at them. And I would welcome those of you that want to join, give it a shot. For those of you that are going to sit tight here, I'm going to still provide value. And I think, our day is coming. Just don't give up early.